Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Bluegrass Truck Series here on the Speed Racing Network and Bluegrass TV. Glad to have y'all. I'm Eddie Smith, and we have the start of round number 3 in the playoffs here in the Truck Series, and it is getting tight in the point standings, and we're getting down to just 8 drivers going to be racing it out for the championship. 2 races, and then we're going to the final 4. It's going to be a good one tonight. What a great place to sort of start to close out on this season here at Darlington. Just a fantastic track. Let's take a look at your standings as they run. You can see Peyton Hubbard on top by 20 points after the reset. Those playoff points, stage points, meaning a ton for him, as he's really gotten the train back on the tracks here lately. He's been pretty unbelievable so far. We'll see if tonight continues that trend of moving forward. But you see Daniel Cunningham, Chad Ross, Sean Kaiser, John Mollahan, Kenneth McCullough Jr., Lucas Lyons, and Christopher McCullough. There are your top 8. You can see the rest of the drivers there on the list as they've been eliminated. But those 8 are going to be your playoff drivers starting tonight. Man, gotta love Darlington. What a great track. What so much fun to come and race here in almost every car. It is the quintessential driver's track. If you want to show off your skill, you want to be a driver that kind of sets themselves apart skill-wise, this is the track to do it. Darlington will chew you up, spit you out in a heartbeat. And tonight going to be a good opportunity for somebody who's going to take over the championship lead or might end up being in big trouble going forward in the next couple of races. Taking a look at the schedule, we won't have it on the screen, but we got Darlington and Martinsville this round where we set the final 4. So this track's super important that you get this thing done. Take a look at the track information here. Darlington, South Carolina, opened in 1950, 47,000 people in capacity, 1.366 mile track, just an odd track. You see 3 and 4 a lot tighter than 1 and 2, and you have to drive both turns completely different. And if you mess up and go drive in 3 and 4 like you do 1 and 2, you'll find yourself in the wall. So we'll see a lot of that tonight, and should be a lot of fun as always. Well, let's talk to your points leader, Peyton Hubbard. Let's bring him in here. I don't know if let's see if he has done his qualifying attempt. It looks like he has, so we'll bring him up into the booth and maybe talk to your points leader here on VSRN. Peyton Hubbard, this is Eddie in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, man, thanks for talking to us tonight. You're coming into this round with the points lead. You've got a pretty nice lead thanks to all those stage points moving forward. But Darlington's a tough track. You're starting currently in the moment in the 10th position. So talk a little bit about how you feel about this round, Darlington, Martinsville, and then how's the truck feeling tonight?
Setup feels pretty good. It's just going to be balancing, when the truck gets tight. We have the long runs. But, yeah, on quali, I had to get a lap going, and I just tapped the wall coming out of 2, and it just invalidated it. So I'm, stuck with that warm-up lap. But I haven't raced too many times here. I know last season had a couple issues, a little bit of damage. I think finished 11th or right outside the top 10 or something like that. So it's not my best track. I'm just looking to, maybe get some good points here and go to Martinsville.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's going to be tough to drive up through the field. How do you balance with that big points lead? How do you balance just patience and being, smart about your moves, but also be aggressive, knowing that, hey, if I can get up there and win, I can move on. Do you balance that aggressiveness? Do you even think like that, or do you still feel pretty confident that no matter what, you're going to be in that Final 4?
We'd like to be, for sure, but especially in the beginning, just letting people that are being aggressive, maybe acting a little desperate, let them do their thing. And then, there's going to be at least one caution. So just kind of manage everything and hold on to the end and maybe save our stuff and end up like Bristol did. But we'll see, man. We're gonna sit back, see what we can do, try not to get caught up with anything. And, if I don't move in here or move into the Final 4 here, maybe I can at Martinsville. But, yep.
All righty. Well, thanks for talking to us, man. Good luck tonight. Should be fun to watch you move through the field.
Thank you, buddy.
There you have it. Peyton Hubbard, your points leader coming into this round and pretty much every round with all those stage points. 6 wins on the season affords you that kind of advantage going into the rounds. But, yeah, just going to be interested to see. He's currently in the 13th position. But speaking of positions, let's go ahead and get into the grid here as we'll see who is going to start on the front row tonight. And it's going to be Sean Kaiser, a playoff driver. Both playoff drivers starting 1-2, Sean Kaiser and Christopher McCullough. Starting in third is going to be Daniel Cunningham and Stephen Page going to start in the 4th position. 5th is going to be Chad Ross, a couple playoff drivers here. Lucas Lyons in the 6th position. In 7th, John Mollahan and Dustin Reinstedel in the 8th position. Starting in 9th is going to be Barrett Morton with Kenneth McCullough, rounding out your top 10. In 11th is going to be Jeremy Vaughn with Cody Anderson in that Toyota Tundra TRD Pro. Going to start in the 12th position. And Peyton Hubbard's points leader, we just talked to him, going to start in 13. Jim Kaufman going to start outside of him. Drew Prohl going to start in the 15th position. Carlton Charles starting in 16th. Derek Parks going to start in 17th. Michael Robinson going to start 18th. 19th, Michaela Stefes, and Jeremiah Hobbs rounds out your top 20. And 21st is going to be Ron Morris Jr. and Brian Terry in 22nd. And rounding out the field is going to be Mark Von Dale, but I don't know if he actually is going to grid here tonight, so we'll see. But 23 drivers if he does, and that is a great field to get this thing rolling here tonight. Sun's starting to set here in South Carolina, and man, it's just hard to look away when it comes to Darlington. You're going to see all kinds of stuff tonight, but mainly we want to see if folks have trouble getting into the wall. We'll take a look at the race analysis. Fixed setup, 138 laps, stage break on lap 45. Those stage points going to be really important for some folks. No fast repair. That's a big thing here at Darlington. Got to take care of that truck, and be a lot of beating and banging. There's going to be some wall bangs, some going in the corner, get into the wall, get stuck, and if you're right behind somebody, could run over them. And we saw all kinds of stuff last night, and the same with the trucks at Darlington. So we've got a little preview on VSR, and if you want to go check that out, because it looks like it was pretty wild. A lot of folks having trouble, and you're just in such a it's tough because you're in the throttle so much, and the line starts at the bottom of the turn 1, goes up to the top, and it's just really sort of a one-line track that if there's an accident, if somebody gets in the wall, it's not going to have a whole lot of places to go, and accidents really seem to happen in that form. So we'll see. Going to see some guys get loose early on. We'll take a look at the track temp as they're getting ready to 72 degrees. Good grief. That is a chilly track, so they should be gripped up, and it's going to be fast for sure. Sean Kaiser going to lead. Getting the pole here at Darlington is a massive advantage. Being able to get out front passing, very, very difficult. It takes 2 or 3 laps to really make a pass without a mistake. So getting out front, Christopher McCullough, Daniel Cunningham, Steve Page, Chad Ross, all those guys are going to be in great positions to set themselves up for this stage break. And then after that, it's all going to be longer in speed. Who can manage those tires, be able to maintain those lap times towards the end of the run. But we're getting ready to go green for first race of the round of 8. Who is going to move on? Who's going to punch the ticket tonight? We're going to find out here in Darlington, South Carolina. Green flag is out here in Bluegrass Truck Series. Already got 1 or 2 going around. Big wreck back here as Jeremy Vaughn has gone around. Contact with, looks like Brian Terry involved as well. So already people with problems here on lap 1. I think that's to be expected. It seems to happen pretty much everywhere. And it all started about mid-pack. And Jeremy Vaughn here early. Brian Terry. And looks like Peyton Hubbard was also involved. Take a look here on the replay brought to you by V-Speed. Take a look at it here. One down in the corner. You're going to see the 2 make contact, and it's just sort of a chain reaction. Peyton Hubbard makes contact there, and it's going to get turned almost into the outside wall. The 10 makes contact. Jeremiah Hobbs. So playoff drivers, Peyton Hubbard, that starting position kind of becoming a problem here early. Looks like he was able to avoid any massive damage, but look at it right there. You can see he's going to get hooked. Hooks up almost, and honestly, the 2 saves him, as that could have been terrible for Peyton Hubbard, but the 2 actually hits that 10 and keeps him from getting too much damage. No fast repair here in the Bluegrass series, so you want to take care of that truck, and already some folks with trouble here early on. Wow. So you see these guys coming down pit road. They want to get any kind of damage fix that they possibly can. It is way too early to be having these type of issues, but that's just a product of racing right there on these restarts. Very tough, and we saw that as they just weren't able to get woed up. It's just sort of, like I said, a chain reaction. Take a look at that again here on the replay and kind of break it down a little bit while we're under caution. And you see just that checkup there on that bottom line. And I mean, honestly, I don't know what you expect Peyton to do really here, but definitely want to be a little bit patient here early on. And just the ever so slight of taps. And like I said, the 2 really saved the 51. He was really getting hot. Man, that's tough. That's tough here in Darlington. Man, start off that early. Have problems. Jeremy Vaughn, a couple of drivers, and then your playoff point leader having issues, man. Jeremy Vaughn on pit road. Currently been on pit road getting damage fixed for almost a minute, so didn't even get to complete a lap before his race is all but done. You can get that damage fixed right now. He's down 1 lap. That'll be okay for now. Get a caution, get back out there, but looks like his day might be done as we're getting ready to go green here. Sean Kaiser get a little bit better restart. He got a great restart on the initial jump, but now he'll have full control of the restarts, and I should see him take control of this race here early. Down the backstretch into turn number 3. We'll take a look here on the left side on the ticker. You'll see those green names. Those green names let you know who the playoff drivers are. So if you want to know who are the playoff drivers, there you are in those green labels. That way you can keep up and see Peyton Hubbard way down there at the bottom now in 19th position. But green flag is out here for Sean Kaiser. Gets a great jump, and Christopher McCullough actually gets a terrible start. Actually checks up that top line. That's going to allow Daniel Cunningham to get around him. And now they go side by side. Christopher McCullough goes from 2nd to 4th in just 1 turn. As Sean Kaiser going to take over the lead. Looks like we're going to be able to complete this lap as everybody starts to get single file. Darlington, very much a single file track. Go right down to the bottom, full throttle. Get that truck going up near the top of the track, then drive the front end down off the corner. You see Sean Kaiser did a much better job than Daniel Cunningham there of getting off turn 2. Drove right down to the bottom. At 3 and 4, you enter in right on the 2nd seam, and you really just work the throttle, try to make sure you don't turn the steering wheel too much, and it gets really, really tight there. As Peyton Hubbard sitting on the track. He has gone around, and caution is out again. Your points leader again having trouble. Take a look here on the replay. Him and Jeremiah Hobbs had some sort of issue here. Oh, Peyton Hubbard gets into the wall and could have come down and make contact with the 10. And that's going to bring out caution number 2 here. And Peyton Hubbard involved in both of them. We're going to see right here off the corner. Just gets that truck a little bit too tight maybe, or just trying to avoid. No, he just gets out of the groove. And when he comes down off the wall, right into the 10. On board with Jeremiah Hobbs here. He's going to get he's involved in the first one as well. Looks like not too much damage to either truck. They just make slight contact, but man, crazy here early. You know, you got to wonder, Peyton Hubbard, some of these guys at the back, wishing that they may have started up near the front and had a better qualifying attempt, as Peyton's really been struggling here early. Take a look at your standings again so you can see who's who. But you see right there, Christian McCullough, Lucas Lyon way down at the bottom, almost a race behind the leader. So they've got a lot of work to do to get through this round, I would imagine. Let's talk to Lucas here. Lucas, this is Eddie in the booth. You got a copy?
That I do, Eddie.
Well, I mean, you're already up 3 spots from the start of the race. Took advantage of that poor start from Christopher McCullough. You're down at the bottom of the round of 8, but you did make it into this round. Man, what is your strategy? What are you looking to do here at Darlington and position yourself a little bit better for Martinsville and try to get in that Final Four?
With this probably being my last race of the season, with my new job starting up, my goal is to just come out and win and end on a high note here. But other than that, probably just try to have a good team points day and focus on the team championship here.
All right, well, you're sitting in the 3rd position. That truck looks pretty fast here early on. How's it feeling?
It feels actually a lot better than I thought it would. Did a Darlington race yesterday that you broadcasted, but it's actually feeling a lot tighter than what it was last night. So hopefully it stays like that and gets a little bit more comfortable for me.
All right, man. Well, good luck. Go out there and kick some ass. We'll see. Maybe we'll be talking to you at the end of the race.
All right. Thanks, Eddie.
Lucas Lyons, you heard that. May not be able to go or move on to the next round, starting a new job. So he is out here trophy hunting tonight. And, man, if I'm going to be missing some races, I want to go back there and get a trophy for sure. So Lucas sitting in the 3rd position already, looking really, really good. John Kaiser currently your leader. Got some guys that came down pit road to get some fuel, starting with Kenneth McCullough in that 03. Comes down, gets just 5 seconds of fuel. Michael Robinson right behind him in the Dale Jr. Bud scheme. Little throwback here tonight. You'll see some throwback schemes here, so pay attention to those. But we'll try to highlight some that we find. And then Ron Morris Jr. right behind him in that Budweiser scheme. All coming down to get fuel. So some strategy there to get a little bit extra fuel, make it a few more laps, hope get a caution. You never know how extra fuel can really help you out, depending on when and where the cautions fall. So not a bad call if you're already back there. I mean, Kenneth McCullough loses about 5 spots doing that, so not terrible. Puts him from the top 10 to the top 15, but he's just looking for a good night here tonight. See Peyton Hubbard, Kenneth McCullough, only playoff drivers really outside the top 10. Everybody else running in the top 7 outside of Steve Page is kind of the sandwich, the meat in the sandwich there. So trouble here early. It's going to be a long one. Is 138 laps is a long time, so they really got to get this thing going. But I mean, with no fast repair, I mean, it's going to work itself out eventually. So Peyton Hubbard has gotten about 43 seconds of damage repair, so he did have a good amount of damage. So see if he can get a couple laps without being involved in something. I'm sure he would like that a lot. Sean Kaiser, though, still with the lead. Love for this thing to go green so he can try to set sail and try to get this win here tonight. Another great jump. That top side has been really struggling on the 2nd row. As now Lucas moves up into the 2nd position with Daniel Cunningham going to fall back in the 3rd place. Got a battle here. You got Chad Ross trying to look to the inside, or maybe John Mollahan who's going to settle back in the 7th position as they all come screaming down the backstretch. Lucas being very aggressive on the start, putting some pressure on Sean Kaiser here early. These guys, you heard them fighting for the team points. These guys up in the top 3 are all JC Motorsports. and they are fighting for the team championship. So there'll be some give and take, I think, between these two drivers, especially since Lucas may not be able to move on. He's definitely going to be a little bit more patient and not push the issue too much and put his teammate in a bad position. It looks like Daniel Cunningham's had some sort of issue with Steve Page and Christopher McCullough able to get around him. So Daniel Cunningham back to 5th. That's how quickly it happens. Right now, you could throw a blanket over the top 4. Sean Kaiser, Lucas Lyon, Steve Page, and Christopher McCullough. Your top 4. Lucas getting right to the back bumper, not being too aggressive. Darlington, you're really hoping that guy makes a mistake, and then you can get the run off the corner. But I tell you, the best place to make the move, a lot of folks are going to try to make the move on the entry of the corner. And man, that is a rookie move. You really want to get the run off of the exit of the corner, like Christopher McCullough is here. He's going to get the run, but Lucas Lyon actually has some trouble as they both have to check up as Lucas gets into the wall a little bit. But here comes McCullough as he goes down to the inside. I don't know if Stephen Page got a little spooked there, but he going to get passed by the 04 machine. But yeah, you really want to try to get the run off of the exit of the corner, get down to the inside as soon as possible, and that way you're at least side by side. If you try to get a nose on entry, it's going to be really tough to make that pass because you kind of want to be able to get up to the top side in both corners. So do not want to be entering on the bottom of the track unless you're for sure you can make that pass. Right now, Lucas trying to throw a little block here, try to prevent Christopher McCullough, but he's going to get to the outside. Lucas going to have the entry, going to drive down into the corner. You can see just how different. Just how different 1 and 2 is from 3 and 4 as they drive down the corner, drive up into the wall, then drive off. Watch right here, kind of entering high here, and it's a tighter corner. Got to put a little bit more wheel into it to slow way down. And it's just more like a normal corner at a short track when you drive in. Here comes Christopher, though, down to the inside of Lucas. Gets down, and Lucas does the smart thing, just lets him go. So move Christopher back up into where he started in that second position here on lap 18 of 138 here in the Bluegrass Truck Series. Round of 8 here tonight. So a lot of things can happen, and a lot of things can change in the playoff picture. Darlington Martinsville is a hell of a round, and you really got to be smart to make it through this thing. I think Peyton has a good amount of points along with Daniel Cunningham. But Daniel's got to be a little bit more careful than your points. See some 20 points back from Peyton. Just so successful all season, and he gets the dividends of that here in the playoffs. But Cunningham currently running in the 5th position. He lost a couple spots. Michael making contact with the wall a little bit. Now he's trying to keep pace with these guys. About a 1.5 seconds off the lead, as Christopher McCullough is starting to run down your leader, Sean Kaiser. As he gets closer, we'll jump over there. About a 10.5 faster last lap. So we heard Lucas talk about this, and I'll talk a little bit about what we can expect here on the long runs. Last night we had the exact same race, but I think it was a little bit warmer at the track, and so a lot looser these trucks were. As Lucas Lyon's going to get into the wall, and Daniel Cunningham goes down to the inside. But these trucks were a lot looser, and guys were really struggling on throttle, but Lucas said it's tighter. What that's going to mean is, man, look at John Mollahan going to take advantage of that and drives right by Daniel Cunningham off the corner. Daniel's going to try the old switcheroo. Not quite able to get there. He's looking. Let's see if he makes a move. Not able to do it. Here comes Chad Ross to the inside of Lucas Lyon. But what we can expect is as they move through the run, I think if it's a little bit tighter truck, you're going to see turn 1 and 2 be similar the whole run, but 3 and 4 is going to be really tough. You're going to have to really slow the truck down to get through that corner. It's going to be a very difficult proposition towards the end of this tire run, I would imagine. Drew Prohl has been on the move here in that 80 machine. Somebody we really didn't talk about much. He's not in the playoffs, but he has moved up 7 spots where he started 15th, now running in the 8th position. It's slowly picking them off. Christopher McCullough was catching the leader here for a while, but after a few laps ago, Chris really kind of fell off a cliff as far as his lap times. So I don't know if he pushed it really hard trying to get those spots back after that restart where he fell back to about 4th. He's really pushed that truck, and the last couple laps, Sean Kaiser has been 2/10 faster than him. You'll see as across the line here where that ends up this time. Yeah, 3/10 faster. And Steve Page actually a little bit faster than Christopher last lap as well. So Christopher really pushed to get back up in that 2nd position, but the tire wear starting to show up here as he's having trouble keeping pace with Sean. Sean really, with that clean air, able to drive off here and starting to set just a crazy good pace. The only driver that's in his lap bracket is, I don't know if something happened to Lucas. Lucas coming down pit road here on lap 26. So I don't know if he had some contact or what. It's pretty early for a pit stop. I don't think we'll see anybody come in with him just yet. So I think he might just have some damage he needs to get fixed on that machine. Go back here. Right behind Drew Prohl, you've got a battle between Cody Anderson and Barrett Morton, as they are battling for the 8th position, as Drew's, our biggest mover, gets into the wall. So Barrett going to get down to the inside. He's going to be able to clear him, and Cody Anderson going to follow suit. Drew holds on to it as he gets back up to speed. That opens the door for Jim Kaufman looking down to the inside of Cody Anderson. Let's go and watch Cody as he is going around trying to battle these guys. He's made up 3 spots where he started. You can see in 3 or 4, he's got some different lines. So he's really struggling there on exit. Running sort of the bottom, maybe half a lane up in 3 and 4, but still see 1 and 2 doesn't really change. Off throttle for just a second, then back on throttle and use those front 2 tires to help steer the car. A little bit of lift off the corner just to make sure, keep the truck settled. Right here, 3 and 4 is just the most difficult. You can see he gets a great run through the middle, but he's leaning on that right front too much. See, he gets a little bit tight off the corner where Drew gets a nice run, and Cody has to actually get off of it a little bit, loses some time. So 3 and 4 is such an important corner if it's going to be a tight setup. But I mean, honestly, they're really both important corners. You mess up one of them, and you end up half a second back in a heartbeat. Right now, Cody having to look out his back windshield as Jim Kaufman gets a little bit loose off that corner. Going to fall back just a little bit. So got about 15 laps to go in this stage. I believe the stage is at 45, so these guys can really push hard. I mean, somebody like Christopher McCullough might starting to lose ground. We got some guys coming down pit road. Steve Page going to come down and try to flip this stage. Steve Page and Daniel Cunningham both coming down pit road. I don't know if they're actually flipping the stage. I don't think they can make it 45 laps, so they're going to have to pit regardless. But looks like lap 30 is when these guys want to come down. Interested to know how many tire sets they have. The fuel is 50%. That usually is that's gonna be where the tightness comes from the setup. Luke was talking about it being a little bit tighter than it was last night. Running 50% fuel will tighten that truck up. But yeah, it looks like everybody's gonna have to come down pit road pretty soon here with just that 50% fuel load. And here comes Sean Kaiser down on pit road, your leader. Gonna make a crucial pit stop before the end of the stage. Important that you knock this one out of the park if you're trying to get those stage points, and all those playoff drivers are. A few drivers have come down pit road and shorted pit by a lot. I mean, Lucas Lyon, one of them, trying to jump ahead of some folks. But going to see a lot of fuel only. Not going to see a lot of tires. The tires are going to be, really abrasive. The fall off is going to be pretty huge. I mean, a lot of drivers are already about 2 seconds off of their, fresh tire pace. But only 4 tire sets in the race. So the one that you start on and 3 extra. So pretty much everybody coming down pit road and not taking tires. The only tires that I see, it looks like maybe Jeremiah Hobbs came down and took 4 tires. I think it's a little bit early with 138 laps. I think this is a smart move to come down on this one and get fuel only and save that set for the stage, because that's going to put Jeremiah Hobbs behind. Some other folks may have taken tires as well. But no, it looks like nobody has taken tires this time. It looks like maybe those drivers who came down pit road about 20 laps ago under those cautions may have just been getting damage fixed. But man, it would really stink to have already used the set of tires at this point, because I think you're really going to need them towards the end of this thing. And 138 laps of 4 tires, 4 sets is actually pretty restrictive. So I think we might see a tire strategy play out towards the end of this thing. Sean Kaiser going to rejoin in the 8th position, actually able to come out in front of Christopher McCullough and Lucas Lyon, who just wasn't really able to make up any ground hitting that early. I mean, obviously doesn't have fresh tires, so wasn't able to make up really any ground. I don't know what I'm talking about at this point. I think I'm falling apart here. There's so much going on, I'm trying to keep up with it. These guys are going to take fuel only, try to make that first set of 4 that they have last through the stage break, come down, take 4 tires, and then they'll only have 2 extra sets in the pits after that. So, yeah, that's pretty crazy. I can't wait to see how that's going to play out. You might get lucky a late race caution if you're able to save a set, but it's going to be tough to do that. As, man, you really got to think about it. If you go a lap down here, or a couple laps down, it's going to be pretty much impossible to get back to the end of this thing, and it could definitely happen if you stay out on old tires. So, man, there's a lot of stuff going on right now. Dustin Reinstedel going to come down pit road. He was in the lead. That's going to give the lead to looks like Sean Kaiser will assume the lead once everybody cycles around. Kenneth McCullough coming down pit road. But Brian Terry still out on track. He'll take over the lead with 2. Jeremy Vaughn, who's 6 laps down right behind him. So Brian Terry is your leader at the moment. Still has to come down and likely get fuel. Here he comes now, 13 coming down pit road. And that will give the lead back to Sean Kaiser. Oh, and caution's out. Caution is out, and I don't know what for. Oh, Stephen Page. Stephen Page sitting backwards on the track. That 56 truck brings out the caution. And it looks like contact with Lucas Lyons is why this caution came out. Lucas Lyons and Steve Page make contact here. Let's go back and check out what happened here on the replay. Coming off the corner here, Steven going to get a run. Goes down the inside. A little bit of blocking going on as they go down into the corner. And Lucas gets into the wall. and they make contact. So Stephen Page goes around after that contact there. But yeah, I mean, honestly, it's kind of hard to say what the problem was there. You know, I wonder if Stephen Page just thought maybe Lucas was going to give him the position at that point. But it looked like Lucas was pretty willing to fight it out. And, I mean, while Lucas gets into the wall, he was still in the wall. So it looks like Stephen Page was just kind of committed to the corner and came up on him anyway. See, right here, I mean, Lucas already into the wall. He never came off the wall, and the 56 just comes up into him and makes contact. And that's why Steve Page ended up sitting backwards on the track. Everybody able to avoid it. Cody Anderson, last second, able to avoid that 56 truck sitting on track. On board with Cody Anderson. Check this out right here. Able to get checked up and get around that wreck. Stephen Page gonna get an EOL for that. He will go to the back after contact with Lucas Lyon. So your penalty gonna go to Stephen Page. So as far as I could tell, doesn't look like that's gonna be stage. Currently got Alex Healy doing race control tonight, so we'll see if he's gonna call the stage. I'm sure if everybody comes down pit road, that will be the surefire indicator that that is the case. It looks like everybody is staying out at this point, so we might be racing to the stage here on lap 45. Still kind of waiting to see if there's any confirmation that this will be stage. We might have a one-lap shootout on old tires for the stage win, and that should be fun. We still got at least a couple laps to go here, so I think we're going to have a one-lap shootout for the stage break. Yeah, we do. We get the one to go, so we're going to have a two-lap shootout for the stage here on lap 45. The stage ends at the end of 45, so we'll have to race a couple laps. So going to be exciting to see who can get this stage win. Those stage points going to be a massive, massive help if you're trying to move your way up the standings, especially with Peyton Hubbard currently being 3 laps down with some damage. It's a great opportunity for some folks to really make up a lot of ground on him here tonight. Christopher McCullough did not get a great start the last time he was on the outside. Can he rectify that here on this restart? As see Lucas Lyon actually blinks out for a little bit. There we go, 2-lap shootout for the stage. Who is going to win this stage? It's Sean Kaiser, who's been dominant so far in this race. Pull out this stage win. Green flag is out. You can see some trucks kind of wiggling there as those old tires not really cooperating on the start, but Sean Kaiser able to get loose as Lucas Lyon going to get to the inside of Christopher McCullough, and they are doubled up into turn 1. John Mollahan, oh my goodness, a little bit of contact for Drew Prohl as John Mollahan, Chad Ross side by side. This is for the 5th position. Chad Ross going to drive into the corner. Would love to have some new tires, but they don't have it. But here comes Christopher McCullough around the outside. White flag is out here in the stage, and McCullough is now in the 2nd position. Can he make the pass? They got one more lap to go in this stage. Trying to get that 04 as John Mollahan is falling. John Mollahan is falling out of the top 10 at this point. Not really sure what happened to him, but we're watching to see if Sean Kaiser can hold off a hard charging Christopher McCullough. They make a little bit of contact, but your winner, Sean Kaiser, takes the stage here at Darlington. Has led pretty much every lap outside of the cycle, and he takes the stage win. We'll get an interview with him after these pit stops as they catch up to the pace car here. We'll actually try to figure out what happened to John Mollahan and see if we can figure out. He was moving up through the field, then had some trouble. We'll take a look at it here on the replay as they're coming down pit road now. We'll see what happened to John as he's in that purple truck right in the middle. Got Chad Ross on the outsides going down into the corner. Oh, it just gets, I don't know if he got turned or got loose. If there was any contact, Barrett Morton was right behind him. You know, he just, there was contact, but he was just trying to stay off of Chad Ross. You're going to see him get a little tight here. It's so tough to enter in side by side, and just runs out of room, checks up to not wreck Chad Ross, and Barrett Morton would really know where to go. That 9 makes a little contact. Don't know if that damage is going to be that significant. It was a pretty light hit, but you just never know. Right there, you can see. Well, all right, everybody coming down pit road to get 4 tires and fuel. Got some folks that stayed out there. Not real sure. Not really sure about that call. We'll see. We'll see as everything kind of cycles around. I think they might go back down pit road. But some folks maybe thinking about that tire strategy we talked about earlier. I can't imagine them staying out. I mean, if it goes green any length of time, they'll end up a lap down pretty quickly. So I don't know if maybe they've already used the set. Dustin Reinsettle's been on pit road about 6 times. So I don't know if that's some damage that he's trying to get fixed. Eric Park's been on pit road 3 times, and Cody Anderson has been down pit road quite a bit as well. So don't know, but let's talk to Sean Kaiser. Let's get him in here and talk to your stage 1 winner. Sean, this is Eddie in the booth. You got a copy?
I got you.
Well, man, that was a fantastic stage win. You pretty much dominated the first part of this. I think if your strategies go out there and win the stage and win the race, you're already on the right track and really helping your playoff hopes. Talk a little bit about how the truck's driving and that last lap to try to win that stage.
The truck's driving pretty good. I mean, it's about just not overdriving it, being patient. You gotta keep on telling yourself, be patient, be patient. I mean, that's how you save tire, and I was able to pull away the way I did, and I had more tire left on my car than the people behind me. So it's just being patient. Plan is to go out and win the race as well, stage and race. So just gotta keep, like I said, keyword, be patient.
Well, talk to me about the tire strategy. You have 4 sets, 3 extra in the pit versus plus the one you had on your truck. Talk a little bit about that strategy, trying to manage that towards the end of this thing.
Well, that's why, like I said, saving tires is a big thing because plan was not take tires right there and then take tires at the stage and then on the last pit stop here, or the last couple of pit stops. So I should have enough tires left over, and that's because I didn't take one at the in the middle of the stage. So once again, save tire was a big thing.
All right. Congratulations on that stage win. Good luck.
Appreciate it.
John Kaiser, your stage 1 winner. Well, stage completely. There's no stage 2, just a stage winner. Now, Cody Anderson, Dustin Reinsettle, right in front of them. They stayed out here on this caution, so I don't know if they have taken tires at some point. We're going to find out quickly. Most likely in the middle of turn 1 and 2, just how good their tires are. They may have already taken a set earlier, so obviously they would have to stay out here on this stage, try to get some track position. We'll see if it plays out. Cody Anderson going to lead us down to the green flag here on the start of this second and final stage here at Darlington. Green flag is out. Let's see what these tires look like. Eric Parks up there in 3rd place as well in that Haviland truck. Cody Anderson able to get away. A nice restart as Eric and Dustin side by side in 1 and 2. And Eric Parks going to clear himself very closely. I mean, almost making contact. That's going to open the door for Sean Kaiser to go down to the inside of that 11 as Dustin Ronstadt will fall in back pretty quick, so he must be on those older tires. Look how quickly he has fallen back. So take a look. I mean, this is what it looks like. You see he's just getting completely eaten up here. He's going to fall back really quickly. And I mean, I think the idea for him is you just don't want to go a lap down. You definitely don't want to get in trouble, have a wreck. But going a lap down would pretty much ruin this strategy. So we'll see. He settles in here. It looks like 6th place as Cody Anderson has a massive lead, but the battle is going to be for 2nd place. This is all happening about 1.3 seconds back from your leader. And Cody, man, is laying them down. Good grief. He came out of that stage and said, I'm here to race. Man, look at the gap that Cody Anderson has over Eric Parks already. I mean, he is really wearing these things out. So is it too much too early? I mean, he's running the fastest laps of the race. John Kaiser, the only one with a faster lap than Cody Anderson at the moment. So he's laying down qualifying laps at the moment. Sean Kaiser, saw him peeking out, looking to maybe make a little move here on Eric Parks. And obviously for Sean, he feels like he's faster. He's been up front, hasn't seen Eric Parks, all night long. So he feels like he needs to get around him. So he's trying to be patient. He's doing a great job of it. I think it's so tough to find that patience. But right now, I mean, Sean is doing a great job. He's going to get the run here. And he's going to have the entry in the 1 and 2. We'll see if the 73 lets him have it or if they race down in the corner. 73 does kind of race him down in the corner, and that's actually going to hurt him as McCullough now all over the back bumper of that 73. Looks like the 73 struggling just a little bit on pace. These tires are going to obviously be a little bit older. But a great battle as Cody Anderson continues to pull away. Now 2.1 seconds over Sean Kaiser. Sean talked about it there in his interview. I am trying to save tire. I'm trying to make sure that I have enough tire to get me to the end. And to the end of these runs, I mean, run second, you have the opportunity to do that. I mean, yeah, he is 2.1 seconds back, but, oh, caution's out. Caution's out. Looks like Michaela Steffens and Peyton Hubbard involved again. Another issue for the 51 truck, who has just had a nightmare of a night. Go back and look and see exactly what happened. Take a look at this replay. Michaela Steffes and Peyton Hubbard battling side by side. Come off the corner here. Michaela gets a little bit loose there, gets into the wall, comes down, and right hooks the 51 and sends him around. No big damage. I think that that hit on the right rear quarter is not going to be too bad, but you never really know. Peyton does a great job of keeping it off the wall, and I think somebody made contact with him here at the end of this thing. A little bit of hang slap, but yeah, I mean, what a tough wreck there as Michaela just gets a little bit high off the corner, makes some contact, trying to keep it off the wall, and they make contact there. You can see in this corner, you can see just how loose Michaela was here. I mean, that truck kind of wiggling. See how loose that truck is. Trying to chase it, gets in the wall, just right hooks the 51. So quite a bit of issues for some people tonight. Peyton Hubbard has seen his fair share. I'm sure at this point this may be a race he'd like to forget. I think. I mean, it's just been a nightmare. Still a lot of time left. I mean, we're not even halfway. He's only 2 laps down. Carlton Charles, Jeremiah Hobbs are both 1 lap down, so they'll have to either get a wave around or get a couple lucky dogs, and he still may have a chance to get back in this thing. So we'll see. A lot of drivers coming down pit road. That time by, Sean Kaiser gives up the 2nd position, comes down pit road along with everybody else behind him, from him on back to Kenneth McCullough, getting what looks to be fuel only for that stop. So some fuel call here to go down and get some fuel. Christopher McCullough actually comes out of pit road first, so he'll lead that charge, the 04. McCullough Motorsports. Some guys have had some trouble. Kenneth is back in the 16th position, but I mean, the 04 Christopher has been waving the flag for that team here tonight, as he's been up front and been a challenger all race long. I'd be interested to see if we get a full green flag run, exactly what we can see out of this 04. I think he's got a race-winning truck. But all of those guys from 6th all the way back to 15th position all came down to get fuel only there on that stop. Cody Anderson gonna hang on to the lead. Eric Parks there in 2nd. Drew Prohl in the 3rd position. Ron Morris Jr. in 4th, and then Brian Terry gonna be the last there of the group that did not pit. Getting ready to go green. Lap 59 coming to lap 60. We still have a long way to go in this race. It's actually odd to see so many cautions. Normally Darlington has a tough time bringing out cautions, but we do have a race control, and I think most of them have been race control thrown. So at some point, I think the race control is going to have to just decide, hey, we're going to have to just let them race it out here. But a lot of them have been sitting on the track for a while waiting on that caution, so I can see where that would force the race control's hand. Cody Anderson's going to get another great jump here on the start. As you can see, oh my goodness, they're already making contact back here. Michaela Steffes wrecking again, as here comes Kenneth McCullough involved. No caution though, and they throw the caution. They were both rolling. Yeah, I'm curious about the caution throw in here. I mean, they both got rolling, but just some contact here. No wreck, nobody spun out, just Michaela getting loose. So honestly, a little odd to see that caution come out. Gonna really artificially make this race a lot longer. But I don't know. Let's take a look here at what happened to Michaela on this restart. Just kind of checked up. That bottom line really checked up there. Make contact, 56, the 03. It was just a, you can see here, just watch the stack up here in that, about 4 rows ahead of Michaela here. As they get ready to go green, watch right here. You're going to see John Mollahan there. That bottom line just doesn't go, and they start checking up, and then Michaela has to go down to the bottom, gets loose there on that restart, comes up, gets into Kenneth. And then Stephen Page going to get into the back of him. Jeremiah Hobbs gets that lucky dog, so he'll be back on the lead lap here. That leaves Carlton Charles, the sole driver, on 1 lap down, and then Peyton Hubbard right behind him with down 2 laps, and Jeremy Vaughn is currently down 5 laps. So another caution Carlton Charles will get back on lead lap. Had a pretty good little green flag run there. He's hoping to see more of that right here. I mean, like I said, we're just not even halfway yet, and over an hour so far in this race. So gonna need some green flag laps to get this thing going, and so far nobody's out of this thing. Everybody's been able to go down pit road, get some damage fixed, and get back out there on the track. So right now, Cody Anderson loving this. I mean, this is the easiest lap sled you'll ever get. He's been able to get away almost every time. It seems like he's running really quickly. Up here at the front, clean air seems to be really nice. He started way back in the 12th position. All right, lights out on the pace car. Going to go green next time by. Would love to see some green flag racing. Maybe we can all, in the chat, kind of cheer on the race control to let them race a little bit. I mean, right now, the top four, all double-digit movers up here at the front. Cody Anderson, 11 spots. Drew Pearl, 13. Ron Morris Jr. there in the third position in that 76 Budweiser truck. He is up 18 spots. And Eric Parks there in that 73 Avalon truck. He is up 13. All right, pace truck is off. Getting ready to go green. Cody Anderson leads us down to yet another restart into the Geico restart zone. Green flag is back out as the bottom line doesn't go again. As Brian Terry not able to get the throttle down. I don't know what happened there, but this time everybody able to avoid. Let's go back up front. Drew Prohl, I mean, look at this stack up from third on back, side by side. Eric Parks, a little bit of contact. Oh, I think we're going to see some trouble here. 3 wide at Darlington does not work. Lucas Lyon and Christopher McCullough able to side by side. Oh, they're going to make a little contact. Here we go. Chris actually backs off, but, man, that's going to put him in so a tough spot here. Is Chad Ross going to go to the outside of the 04. Man, there's a lot of stuff happening here. I can't keep up with it. Christopher McCullough going to try to fight back, though, get back moving forward. Try to clear Chad Ross. He is going to be able to clear him. Contact happening in the back as Ron Morris has fallen all the way to the back after obviously on older tires and was just getting eaten alive there and said, hey, let me get out of here. Sean Kaiser, Lucas Lyon running 4th and 5th, swapped from the way that it was earlier with Lucas right behind him, but Sean has definitely been the truck to beat, and he's looking down to the inside, going to take over that 4th position. So Sean Kaiser, his caution is out. Jeremiah Hobbs again. It seems to be the same folks almost every time. Just a tough race, man. It's just been tough. Darlington is a cruel track. Let's go back and take a look here at the replay. What happened? Down into 1 and 2. A little bit of checkup here. And just get some help from John Ballhan. Sends him around. He overcorrects back up to the outside wall. And, oh, man, Ron Morris Jr., who just went back there, going to make contact. Take a look at this. Ron just trying to get down low to miss him, and boom. Nowhere to go for that 76 machine. He was just on the front 2 rows on that restart, fell all the way to the back, and then makes contact with Hobbs as he goes around. Jeremiah back on pit road. He's been on pit road 8 times. Just a tough night for that 10 machine. Just got his lap back, too. And now going to go back multiple laps down. But what I'm sure is quite a bit of repairs that he's done on that machine. All right, Cody Anderson comes down pit road and takes his 3rd set of tires. So he is on his 3rd set. Trying to find a little bit of tire advantage. These guys have been on the same set since the stage at lap 45, albeit we haven't really had that many green flag laps, but Cody trying to get ahead of the game. In this strategy, sort of betting, I think, on betting on some long green flag runs, which I'm not sure we're going to get. John Mollahan's going to get the EOL there from that contact. It all started from the 0-2 machine getting to the back end of Jeremiah Hobbs, so he'll go to the back. That turns the lead over to Eric Parks. Sean Kaiser closer and closer to the lead along with Christopher McCullough. Those two have been pretty much all up front all night long. I'm looking to see who's going to come up there and join them, as they seem to have been the most consistent guys up front. I don't know what I'm saying. But right now, Eric Parks with the lead. He's going to give us a restart here. But I think that 24 truck looks to be just too fast. I don't know how long they'll be able to hold him back, as he's just too strong. And honestly, Christopher McCullough has been right there, but I think Sean has just been a little better so far. It's really hard to say, there's been just so many cautions. But on that long green flag run, Chris was able to kind of run him down a little bit. Then on the back end of the run, he's really started to fall back from Sean. So we'll see if he's able to make those adjustments that he needs to make and be a little bit more competitive. But that 24 has been really strong here tonight. All right, well, an update on your points leader. Peyton Hubbard now 2 laps down, but the first driver a lap down. So a couple more cautions. Peyton Hubbard will be able to get back on the lead lap. And I don't know if you're a betting man or woman, but I would imagine that I think 2 cautions is probably pretty likely here. Eric Parks is going to lead us to the green flag. Green flag is out. Eric Parks gets a great jump. Sean Kaiser going to come along with him. Sean going to have to battle into turn 1 and 2, but see if he can clear the 25. 25 gets rolling there on the outside. Going to be a tight fit here off 2. Sean is still there side by side, has a nose out in front, going to go down into the corner and slide up in front of Lucas. I think Lucas might have backed out a little bit and let him have it. And so now the 24 are going to set his sights on the 73 of Eric Parks. So y'all get lined up. Top 5, Eric Parks, Sean Kaiser, Lucas Lyons, Christopher McCullough, and Chad Ross. Man, it is really close racing here. One mistake, and it's just a pile up here on the front stretch. As here comes Christian McCullough down to the inside of Lucas. Lucas starting to fall a little bit. Oh, my goodness. I thought the 04 was going to go up into the side of the 25, but now here comes the 83 trying to get up to the outside. Not quite able to do it. Christopher going to hold on to that 4th spot, but here comes Chad Ross looking down to the inside, not able to make that run. So Chris was trying to take over the 3rd position, and Lucas fights him off. An almost disaster for the 04 machine. Go back and look here at Cody Anderson, who did come down and take those 4 tires. Going to try to make the best out of them and try to get back up towards the front. If he can do that, we have a long green flag run. I said, you know, a long green flag run is what he's banking on. He may not get it, but here we go. And we got a few laps here. And he's already in the 10th position. Up front, Sean Kaiser. To the back bumper of the 73. It's just a matter of time, I think. How hard will Eric Parks fight here? Lucas about 2nd back from these 2. We come roaring off of turn 2. Sean has to lift just a little bit. If he doesn't get the run he needs to maybe make a move. We'll see if he can do it off of 4 here. Eric Parks did a great job in 3 and 4 right there. I wonder if Sean is just trying to think about the big picture. Save those tires, don't push too hard. Or if Eric Parks has just turned everything up to 11. But the battle is back here. The 04 now back to the back bumper of the 25, looking to take over that 3rd position. Oh, he's going to get to the outside of him off of 4 here, coming down to the stripe. And he is there quarter. He is side by side with Lucas, and that's going to be the preferred line. Lucas actually kind of made him nervous there, and he actually backs out, and that's going to open the door for Chad Ross down to the inside. I think Christopher McCullough is being extremely patient, but that's going to end up costing him. I mean, he had the preferred groove and had to lift there and gave Lucas line. You can see Lucas really, he kind of holding up this group, it looks like. Now, here comes the 04 back down to the inside. Same spot. We'll see if he can make that move happen. This time on the inside. Not able to do it. Lucas being very strong, and you see it's going to open the door for Chad Ross off of 2. And there is a line of trucks behind these drivers. You cannot afford to make a mistake here. So frustrating. This 04 trying to make a pass is going to end up losing a spot as Chad Ross completes the pass on the outside. Oh, they're going to go 3 wide here at the stripe. Michael Robinson goes down 3 wide. This can't work. Michael goes down to the apron. He's going to come back up on, no, he stays down on the apron. A great job. Yeah, oh my goodness, Cody Anderson almost gets up into Drew Pearl, and they are just fanning out everywhere. As Michael Robinson, he made the move to go 3 wide, but then decommitted and loses a ton of spots because of it. Oh, he's almost going to get taken 3 wide here. But yeah, an odd decision there to go 3 wide and not commit. Maybe he just thought better of it and said, oh, I'm going to end up causing a wreck. My goodness, boy, that got exciting there for a little bit. I mean, this race has been pretty exciting, especially with the state green. A lot of great racing. And we missed the pass for the lead while all that was going on. As Sean Kaiser takes over the lead. We'll take you back and we'll watch that pass for the lead as it happened. This is a replay here. Sean Kaiser going to get down to the inside. We were watching that crazy battle back there, and Sean Kaiser goes to the lead side by side, and looks like Eric tried to hang on to it. Sean gets that throttle down, gets up in front of him, and takes over the top spot. Back live, though, look at the gap that he has pulled on Lucas Lyons as Eric Parks coming down pit road. That extra little bit of fuel those guys took, Eric's going to have to come down, give up that second position. But right now, Sean Kaiser will look out the back bumper of him. He has got a massive lead over Lucas Lyons there in the second position. But Lucas doing a great job of almost playing defense for his teammate. You know, he kind of gave his teammate a little bit of extra room to go around him, but it's been really aggressive, albeit very safely. I don't think he's done anything wrong. He's done just a great job of playing defense and not letting guys just take over the spot, been fighting hard. And Christopher McCullough, despite his best efforts, was not able to complete the pass, as Lucas been really strong there on the outside. That outside line seems to be pretty tough right now. Back here, Cody Anderson, another spot up to 7th place on those new tires. He is roaring through the field. And going to look forward to the top 5 here soon. Cody Anderson got a race-winning truck. He's going to be behind on strategy now, if my math is correct and based on what I see. I can't actually see how many tire sets they have left. That'd be great data. If anybody works at Iracing or knows somebody who does, might be something that you might reach out to him and ask him about. But based on the data that I have, it looks like he has taken his third set of tires. This long green flag run, though, going to play right into his hands. As now he looks forward to Jim Kaufman to see if he can get around that 41 machine, who's also done a great job tonight, up 8 spots. Perfect execution off of turn 4. That's going to give him that inside track. Jim Kaufman smart and just gives that position up. Cody kind of throws a Hail Mary there. He goes straight up to the top to make sure he can get that position off the corner. But move Cody Anderson up to 6th as he continues to move forward here. Currently the fastest truck on the track. Daniel Cunningham now coming down pit road. That 08 machine's been pretty fast. He's been kind of stuck on the back half of the top 10 all race long. We'll see if he comes down and gets tires. That's going to be the question. Eric Parks did come down and get tires. These guys, I think they'll come down and take their 3rd set of tires here. I don't think you'll come down and take fuel only. And you'll still have one more set to go. But we'll see. We'll see what the call is here. We'll watch as Daniel Cunningham comes down pit road. We'll see if we see any jacks go up or if it's going to be fuel only. I would imagine 4 tires and fuel for the 08. Do the right side to go up, so you know the lefts are going to go up. So 4 tires and fuel here. Hoping to see a long green flag run. Sean continuing to set the standard for this track as he is 3.6 seconds ahead of Chad Ross at the moment. And is just putting himself in position to take this win here tonight. Head and shoulders above everybody else. He's definitely been the best driver. And just look how far back you see that second car back there with the yellow on it. That's Chad Ross. And he is well behind. As Drew Prohl going around Jim Kaufman. Move himself up in the top 5. Chris McCullough comes down pit road, going to give up that 3rd position. And going to come down and get his 3rd set of tires. So we got a lot of strategy here. It's going to be weird how it plays out. We'll see how the math works for as far as fuel goes. But, I mean, Cody Anderson came down pit road along with Drew Prohl. They're running 3rd and 4th 22 laps ago. Where Sean Kaiser and Chad Ross, they came down pit road 34 laps ago. So they'll have to come down now as we see Sean Kaiser give up the lead. And Cody's going to be able to run, and Drew going to be able to run a lot more laps. And they'll definitely run them out, I would imagine. I don't think there's any benefit for them to come down pit road now. We'll see how that works towards the end of the race. But right now, I mean, if a caution comes out in the next 5 or 6 laps, I mean, Cody Anderson going to be in a great spot to run to the end of this thing. The only problem is he really needs to get to, I mean, they're only been able to run around lap 35-ish. So he's going to need to get pretty far. He's going to have to run at least another 12 to 15 laps, and he can make it to the end. So far, Cody's strategy looks to be pretty good. He can definitely run 10 laps more for sure. He's been on this stint for 24 laps now. A lot going on here. Cody Anderson all the way back to Carlton Charles all came down 24 laps ago. So on a different strategy. Most of them, I'm sure, came down and took tires. As right now, Cody Anderson, Drew Prohl. Drew is actually running him down towards the end of this run. You know, you wonder if Cody could be saving a little bit of fuel, or has just burned those tires up. He's having to really be cautious there in 3 and 4. I think he just had a bad lap last time by. So he does fix that this time, actually half a second faster than Drew Prohl that time. So I think Cody just had a bad lap there. Allowed Drew to catch him up pretty quickly. So these guys that came down pit road right now, Eric Parks is a lap down. So if a caution does come out, I mean, gosh, you know, if you're one of these guys, if you're Sean Kaiser, who just went around Eric Parks, that's a pass for 8th position. Eric came down about 10 laps ago, which is why he was in front of Sean. But these guys right here, this is the first driver a lap down. Sean will be okay. He'll get the lucky dog, but there'll be so many lap down cars. We'll have to start behind everybody. So honestly, if you're Sean, Lucas, Eric, Barrett, Chad, Christopher Nicola, Daniel Cunningham, John Mollahan, you got to be just sitting here waiting on pins and needles, hoping that these guys up front will pit soon, because, man, a caution could really be painful for these drivers. Dustin Reinstedt going to go around Drew Prohl, who's had a really bad couple laps, so I'm not really sure what's going on with Drew here. And Drew is saving fuel. So, yeah, we talked about if he can go a little bit more. People have been able to go about 35 laps, so that means you have to go to at least 103. 103 would get you pretty damn close. So I think Drew, we've seen him fall off quite a bit. You hear him clutching it, trying to save as much fuel as he possibly can. You see Dustin Reinstedt now doing the same thing. They figured it out. They know that if they can make it just a little bit further, they'll be able to make it to the end of this race. Now, the big question is, one more stop, excuse me, where these other guys are going to have to come down pit road again. So they're playing the long game now, as looks like Cody Anderson has come down pit road, so he is not going to play that game. He's going to come down and get his should-be final set of tires. He's going to have to, yeah, I don't know. I think he's going to have to stretch it 38 laps to make it here on one more stop. You know, I think if he comes out and starts saving immediately, I think he can definitely do it. He's going to have to save the whole time, I would imagine. So this is going to turn into a fuel mileage race for sure. As Cody Anderson now going to get past. Now, this is good for a lot of those drivers, this fuel saving, because it's going to allow Sean Kaiser to – oh, Drew Prohl's going to come down pit road now, so it definitely cannot make it to 103. So it's going to be pretty dang close. But they would have to make it 38 laps, and I don't think anybody's been able to get close to 38 laps. So looks like that's not going to be the case, but that's going to give the lead back over to Sean Kaiser. But I thought maybe if they could make it 3 more laps, it might be possible. And we'll pay attention to that and see if they are able to save that much. If they start saving now, let's take a look at Cody Anderson. He's almost going to get the wall there. Yeah, I don't see any attempts to save fuel, so I don't know if that strategy is going to work out. Now, Drew actually only took fuel only there, it looks like. So Cody Anderson, Drew Kroll having to make up for using that tire set early. They'll be on older tires. I thought we were going to see a fuel mileage race, but it looks like it just wasn't possible to make it from the end. Sean Kaiser going to take over the lead. Lucas Lyon there in second, about 2 seconds back. And then Chad Ross about 3.5 seconds back from the lead now. But there is a dogfight back here from fourth on back. You see Daniel Cunningham goes to the inside. Eric Parks goes to the inside of the 04. And then the 04 goes back around him. So these guys going back and forth here. Man, wow, the camera angles are just terrible here at Darlington. These are all playoff drivers. Christopher able to get around Eric Parks and immediately kind of set sail. Eric has got about 5 to 8 lap older tires than these guys that are all around him, so he pit a little bit earlier. Cunningham able to get around him. Now Christian McCullough gets to the back bumper of Barrett Morton. Haven't talked much about Barrett Morton tonight. He's been hanging around inside the top 10 all race long. Just hasn't had the speed that his teammate of Sean Kaiser has had. But we are getting down a nice little green flag run here. We are getting down to almost about 30 laps to go here. As we watch Christopher McCullough try to make a pass here for fourth. You know, here in Bluegrass, there's not only just a driver standings, but also a team championship. So there's a lot more on the line other than just driver championships. These team standings get pretty tight. Right now, JC Motorsports has the points lead coming into this race. McCullough Motorsports 200 points back. Team 3, 480 points back. Flex 502. So they continue to try to stretch that lead out over McCullough Motorsports. And right now, Sean Kaiser, Lucas Lyons, Barrett Morton, Daniel Cunningham inside the top 6. That's big for that team championship, that's for sure. Christopher is really trying to get around this 9 machine, just cannot do it. Right up front of them, you got Chad Ross now looking to the inside of Lucas Lyon. Oh, and Lucas gets a little tap there and has to kind of get out of it to not get into the wall, and that allows Chad Ross to get around him. Now the battle here for fourth place continues to rage on. We'll see if Christopher McCullough can get around this 9. You see he's definitely faster, just having a tough time. He's actually shifting down to third in 3 and 4 to try to get a little bit more drive off. Here comes, looks like Lucas Lyon coming down pit road to make his final stop. Should get his final set of tires here. Oh, and he got really close. I wonder if he got caught speeding. We'll pay attention to that here. But Lucas going to come down, get that final set of tires. And fuel. pay attention to see if he has any kind of. We're going to go back to this battle. This has been a battle that's gone on for a while. Looks like Lucas was able to get down the pit road speed. Here he comes. Christian McCullough looking down the inside. Not quite able to get there just yet. Just down to third, trying to get that truck to rotate. I wonder how many people are actually shifting down to third. Oh, he's going to get a great run here. This is it. I think this is the opportunity for the 04. Let's see if he makes that move. Oh, he's going to get in the wall. You can see what that third gear can do is he really gets on the throttle. That helps rotate the truck. You know, he loses a little bit of time off in the corner, having to shift back and forth. But he's just trying to do anything he can to get this truck to rotate. It seems like it's really tight. My goodness. Ron Morris Jr., but here comes Barrett Morton. Looks like he is coming down pit road, so Christopher McCullough will take over that spot finally, but Barrett Morton coming down pit road to make his final stop. Daniel Cunningham is coming in as well. Boy, I can't tell you how important this pit stop is. If we're able to stay green for the rest of the race, it's going to be so important that you get down on pit lane. Don't speed. You cannot afford a mistake here. That would be the end of your race for sure. So pit road getting busy here. When will we see Sean Kaiser bring that 24 down pit road? He's got a 5.7 second gap. If you're Sean Kaiser, this win is yours to lose. Where you can get in trouble is if you try to come down too early. I mean, for Sean, he needs to run this thing out because if a caution comes out, he does not want to get caught a lap down, doesn't want to get caught somewhere. He wants to run this thing until he absolutely can't. Right now, he continues to extend that lead as Chad Ross is now 8 seconds as he's coming down pit road. So everybody's coming down pit road. He had a 5.7 second lead. He can give it a few more laps, maybe 5 or 6, come down pit road and hope, see if that caution comes out. So if I'm the 24, I'm waiting as long as I possibly can. That way the caution doesn't get me if I have to come back and pass somebody. I've been the fastest truck all race long. He can definitely get it done. So I don't think he's got too much pressure on him right now. Just run it as far as you possibly can, I'd say. Coming down to 20 laps to go, and here he comes. He makes the decision. See him drive all the way down to the bottom. Try to get that truck down on pit road. This pit road is scary to get down onto. I mean, look how quickly the barrels kind of pop out there. Watch out, Kyle Larson. As he comes down, he's going to give up the lead. And here just needs no mistake. Sean Kaiser has been pretty mistake-free, has been dominant all race long. Now's not the time to make a mistake. You don't want to speed. There's no need. You had a 6-second lead. Just get in and out of your box and then go and do what you've been doing all race, which is just kick everybody's butts. 24. Stage winner coming down pit road, making his final stop. It's going to give the lead over to Dustin Reinstedel. He pitted 19 laps ago, so he can go a little bit further. But I think Sean will actually come out of pit road and be able to maybe maintain on the lead lap. Here comes Dustin Reinstedel now. See if Sean can get out of pit road. Here he is right here on the apron, and Dustin is right there just coming into picture. So Sean Kaiser will be able to stay on the lead lap after making a pit stop. That's very, very impressive. Just had that much of a lead. He's able to go down pit road. And you see Lucas, these guys who pitted 8 laps earlier, he comes right out in front of them. Now, Chad Ross did come out ahead, so Chad Ross will cycle around to your leader. Sean has 18 laps to get this thing done. Chad has played his cards, came in a few laps earlier, able to jump over Sean Kaiser. I'm actually impressed that he was able to do that. Oh, no, Chad Ross doesn't have a set of tires. He comes down and takes fuel only. So this will just be a matter of time. As I'm looking here, a 9.2 second stop for Chad Ross. So he is out of tires here with just 18 laps to go. I think anyway. I don't know. He's still running pretty competitive lap time, so he might have taken 2 tires. At 9 seconds, that would indicate maybe 2 tires only. So Chad Ross trying to look strategies that would go around getting the help. I may not get it right the first time, but I'll figure it out at some point. There it is, a battle for the lead, and Chad Ross with a strategy call to take 2 tires, but it's not going to be enough. At least not enough to hold off maybe for the win, as I think Kaiser is going to be able to get around him if he's patient enough. Going to fight hard, but Sean's just going to have the superior drive through the middle of the corner with those left side tires. Ain't going to be able to clear him here. So Sean Kaiser moves into the second position, which should cycle around to the lead once Brian Terry, who is currently your leader, comes down pit road. He's been out on the track for 23 laps. And probably go another 10, but definitely cannot make it the rest of the way. Checking in on Christopher McCullough. He is in the 5th position. Barrett Morton right behind him, along with Daniel Cunningham. Christopher just got around Barrett Morton. He's some 10.5 seconds off of the leader of Brian Terry, but about 5 seconds back from Sean Kaiser. So going to need a caution to get this 04 machine back in a position where he can try to get a win here, not have to worry about Martinsville. And honestly, I mean, that's the big thing for me, is getting the win here tonight. It's going to be such a huge burden lift because we just know Iracing, Martinsville, it's tough in real life, but man, here it is just unbelievable. So now Sean Kaiser is catching Brian Terry's about 3.5 seconds back. So regardless of Brian Terry pits, I don't think it's going to matter. Sean is going to be able to take that win. Brian Terry is that second car in front of Sean here, now down to 2 seconds. Brian, last lap ran a 32.1. Sean Kaiser running a 29.8. Here comes Brian Terry, going to give up the lead, and Sean Kaiser takes over the lead with just 12 laps to go. Chad Ross running in second. Christopher McCullough will now take over the last podium spot. Up here, we got a battle between teammates. Daniel Cunningham, Barrett Morton, nose to tail. Did Lucas Lyon right in front of him. Lucas's tires starting to fade. He was one of the first to come down pit road about 17 laps ago. They are right on top of each other here. These all three JC Motorsports. Barrett looking to the outside, and I think Lucas will let both these guys go. Now they'll battle each other out for this fourth position. About 7 seconds back from their teammate, leader Sean Kaiser. 10 laps to go here at Darlington. So a rough start to the race, but here at the end, it has been a long green flag run and some nice green flag pit stops. It's a really cool strategy, but so far, I mean, raw speed is what's getting it done here tonight. And Sean Kaiser continues to lead. He is your highest running playoff driver. If he wins and goes on to the next round, or moves on, to the championship round, he will lock himself into the championship race and not have to worry about Martinsville at all. Right behind him is Chad Ross in that 83, has had a fantastic race, been fast, has been able to move himself up into the second position after starting fifth. Just checking in here on your playoff drivers and what's going on with him. Chris McCullough running right behind him, about half a second back. We might see a little battle between these two before this is all over. Then you go back to fifth. Daniel Cunningham, Lucas Lyons running in fifth and sixth. And that's all the playoff drivers inside the top 10. You have to go all the way back to John Mollahan in the 11th position, who has he's had a pretty good night. Had some contact, some issues, just hasn't really been able to get up towards the front. And currently running the 11th position. And Kenneth McCullough, who is way back here, after starting in 10th, he's running one lap down in 15th position. So some tough nights for some playoff drivers. But maybe the toughest of them all has been Peyton Hover, and I got to give him props for continuing to fight and trying to get back. But I mean, was in a position to get those couple laps back, and we just haven't had any caution since that first little string of caution. So been just a tough night. Been 2 laps down for probably 100 laps or so. Still fighting, trying to get every position he can. He had a pretty nice little buffer, so he should be okay. But still a tough night for the 51 machine. All right, battle for second though. Just a few laps to go. Here comes Christopher McCullough in that 04. Battling side by side here at Darlington. They go down, look at them. Each fighting for every inch of the track as they come off the corner. They make contact. No, the 04 is going to get a little bit loose, trying to stay off. The 83 loses a lot of momentum as they cross the line. 5 laps to go here at Darlington. Man, Chris really drives it into the corner there, almost makes a little bit of contact. And it looks like Chris is going to be able to clear him off of turn 2. So move Christopher McCullough into that second position. Flying the banner from McCullough Motorsports is now up 1 spot, but man, 7 seconds back to the leader, Sean Kaiser, who continues to put on a clinic. Just impressive stuff. But if you win by a whole lap, Sean Kaiser does. Christopher McCullough still gets the same points. And second place is pretty dang good. Doesn't lock him into the next round, but hey, sets himself up for what should be a pretty wild show at Martinsville. Go right behind him. Daniel Cunningham still right behind Barrett Morton. As they are starting to run down Chad Ross just a little bit, so this may be a little battle here for the podium spot before too long. Only 3 laps to go, so not that much time, but you never know what could happen here at Darlington. One little slip up and guys will be on top of you in a second. Ooh, weird. Chad Ross starting to fall off quite a bit. These 2 drivers about 3/10 faster. Chad last time, Bob will see as they cross just a 10th faster that time, but might find themselves right there at the white flag. But speaking of white flag, here we go. Sean Kaiser got lap cars all around him. He's going to come around and take the white flag here. 1 more lap to go for Sean Kaiser. Can he get the win? Lock himself into the round of 4. Cody Anderson puts himself in the wall trying to let him by. Just has to make 2 more corners into 3 and 4. Super clean. That number 24 machine looking fast. He comes off a turn 4, and he is going to take the checkered flag here at Darlington. Let's go back to the 3rd position. They got a battle. Barrett Morton now going to the inside. He's going to try to take over that 3rd spot. It's a drag race at the line, and I have no idea. Barrett Morton. Barrett gets in there at the line. Wow. What a drive by Barrett to get that podium position there right at the end. What a great drive by him. So, great night for JC Motorsports for sure. Christian McCullough comes home in the second position. But Sean Kaiser, your winner here tonight. Gonna do a little burnout, and man, what an impressive drive. I mean, has the best lap of the race at 29.462. Nobody's even close. I mean, just an impressive. I mean, just a lot of preparation, and I mean, this was a butt whooping for sure. It wasn't even close. Sean Kaiser was the best all race long. He said he was going to come in here, win the stage and the race, and he did exactly that. Well, all righty. Well, let's give these guys some time to get into the voice chat, and we will give them a few minutes, and we'll try to get some interviews, talk to them, see what their race was like, and see how they're feeling going into the next round. I mean, this is a great start for that 24 machine. Going to be able to lock himself into the round of 4. So let's take a look at the results. See where everybody finished up. We got some heartbreak, 7 cautions, 15 lead changes. Sean Kaiser, though, just dominated this race. Christian McCullough, 8 seconds back in the second position. Barrett Morton going to come home in third with a great last lap pass, side by side with Chad Ross in fourth. Daniel Cunningham with the top 5. Dustin Reinstedel comes home in 6th. Eric Parks in 7th. Michael Robinson has a great run in 8th position. Jim Kaufman in 9th. John Mollahan in 10th. 11th is going to be Lucas Lyon. Cody Anderson in 12th. 13th is Drew Prohl. 14th is Brian Terry. 15th, Carlton Charles. 16th, Kenneth McCullough. 17th, Peyton Hubbard. 18th, Ron Morris Jr. 19th, Jeremy Vaughn. And 20th, Stephen Page. 21st is going to be Jeremiah Hobbs. Michaela Steffes in the 22nd position. And you see Mark Bondell never turned a single lap. So, well, all righty. Well, let's get in here and let's talk to some drivers, see what they thought about the race. And I can't wait to talk to some of these fellas. Still waiting on Barrett Morton, but we'll get him up in here in just a moment. Go ahead and yoink him up into the booth as I think he might be talking to somebody, but we're going to yank him up into the booth anyway. Barrett, this Eddie in the booth, you got a copy?
Yeah, but I got you.
Well, man, what a great race out of you. You kind of you're inside the top 10 all race long. Darlington is such a tough place to race. But, man, there at the end, came on strong. You and your teammate kind of running nose to tail like y'all were drafting a little bit and and able to run down Chad Ross and be able to make an exciting last lap pass to take that third position. But tell me about your night. Talk a little about how the truck was running and how you were able to get that pass done at the end.
Man, I was kind of hanging on like a hair in a biscuit there because I just wasn't as fast as most of these guys. But what I really needed was a long run, and we didn't necessarily get it until the end. But with with having tires and not a whole lot of fuel in here, that the long run didn't make a big of a difference. So I kind of had to change my line towards the end there and started pushing a lot harder. But yeah, I'm just lucky to finish third. Luckily, Daniel didn't really push the issue at the end there. He was definitely faster on a long run, but he kind of helped me out and threw me a bone there. And then Lucas let us go as well. So definitely some teammates helped us out. But it was a pretty decent race overall.
Yeah, I mean those caution early were probably pretty frustrating, but it was cool to see that green flag run towards the end. Kind of let kind of let people kind of spread out and see who was the best on those long runs. And man, you really showed your strength there. But let's talk a little bit about. I mean, the JC Motorsports in general tonight seemed to come in with a pretty good plan and executed properly. I mean, obviously Sean Kaiser, I mean, just kicked everybody's ass here tonight. But as a whole, it seemed like the team championship's on y'all's mind. Talk a little bit about that going into the last couple races.
Yeah, it's definitely on our mind, and unfortunately, we're going to be losing Lucas after this race. So we're gonna have to. Luckily, we have a couple of provisional drivers or whatever that can come in and fill in to help us out. But we're definitely going to miss him. And then yeah, we just click as a team really well. Lucas entertains us, Daniel teaches us, Sean kicks our ass. It's all good, and I'm just there for support, right? So also Jonah's always a big help too.
Well, congratulations on that third place finish. Pretty exciting last lap there at the end. But who you got to thank? Any sponsors? Any shout outs here tonight?
Yeah, definitely. Spearcrest Digital, Wax Marina, and Wax Kentucky. RD Designs, JC Motorsports, JC Graphics, and then of course all my teammates and Sean for making us look terrible tonight, and Lucas and Daniel, and then Caustic, everybody else, and Cofield, and all those people that help us out in the chats and the Discord and everything. We have a good time.
All righty. Well, there you have it. Barrett Morton with your third place here tonight. And what a pretty good run out of him. But let's talk to your second place finisher, Christopher McCullough, who had a pretty wild race. And I mean, you were that one of those first restarts, you fell back to fourth. But it seemed like you were fighting all night long. What was it like out there here at Darlington?
Man, it was tough to pass. That was for sure. Yeah, I made a mistake on that restart. He caught me sleeping, and I fell back, and I just tried to take my time. But Sean Kaiser was fast tonight. He was really good on the long run, and he was able to maintain throughout the run. So it was a good win to him. But it was on the edge the whole race.
Well, I mean, what were you struggling with the most? I mean, we talked about early in the race the cooler temperatures. It seemed like it was a little bit tighter, especially with the fuel load being pretty low. Early on there was a lot of restarts, a lot of cautions. What were you dealing with the most that was making it hard to pass? What do you think? That was. I mean, you had to fight pretty much all night long. You were constantly racing guys. What do you think was the biggest? I mean, saw you a couple times shifting down to third in turns 3 and 4, just trying anything to get a run on somebody. What do you think was the big difference there with the way the truck was handling?
Yeah, it was a little snug, and it was snug behind somebody. But my main issue is I just struggled myself setting up the pass like I need to, and I was real conservative under because I didn't want to get in anybody and give myself a penalty. But I made a lot of little mistakes throughout runs that cost me time. If I didn't make half the mistakes I made, I could have been running right there with them at the end. I think I had the pace. I just needed track position and be a little better driver.
Yeah, I mean, talk a little bit about that battle you were having with Lucas Lyon. I mean, it seemed like you were being very patient with him. You kind of talked about it. I was kind of hoping maybe you expand on that a little bit. I mean, you wreck somebody, you get an EOL, championship, there's a lot of stuff's on the line, just 2 races in a championship. Talk about how that makes you race. I mean, you talked about it a little bit, makes you a little bit more passive than you like to be. How tough is it to balance that with hey, I want to get up there and maybe balance, challenge for the win. But I know if I get into this guy, and he wrecks, I go to the back and I lose all that track position. Talk a little bit about how difficult it is, to really balance that in a race like this, especially with so much on the line.
Yeah, it's definitely I consider it like a chess match. Kind of got to make sure I make the right move and I don't overstep. One thing about this league is they will race you hard for their position. I could run them down by 3/10, but I just cannot get around. I expect to be race hard, and that's why I come out and race these races. It's hard to pass. I'm a little frustrated with myself because I didn't get a chance to race for the win. But yeah, it's just they did a really good job of maintaining their line and keeping me pinched on exit. You got to be very careful because one mistake and you're got to win next week. So.
Yeah, well, man, you did a great job. I mean, just a pretty fantastic race. You were in the mix, and whether or not I wasn't always attempting to try to get you on camera, but you were in the action so much. You were always on the broadcast tonight, just putting on a show. So definitely appreciate that, and it definitely seemed like that truck was on rails. Just had to fight a little bit more with track position than maybe Sean did, but seemed to be just having you and Sean seem to have a little bit more speed than about everybody. Just the way the track position worked out. But, man, congratulations on that second place finish. That's good points moving forward. And who you got to thank?
Yeah, I got to thank my team, McCullough Motorsports. I got to thank all the admins and Alex Healy for coming over and do race control. That's a thankless job, and I do appreciate all their hard work. And I got to thank you for doing these broadcasts. I like to tune in and rewatch these and criticize all my mistakes I see.
All right. Well, congratulations, Christopher McCullough, on a second place finish. And we're going to get your winner here tonight, Sean Kaiser, in the booth. We talked to him already and did exactly what he said he was going to do, and goes out there on the long run, able to take home the victory by 8 seconds. Sean, talk about that race and how the hell were you able to win by 8 seconds?
Exactly what we talked about at the end of stage one. I literally just kept on. You can ask my teammates in the chat. Just kept on telling myself, "Got to be patient. Got to be patient," because people would get around me or would be in the middle of pit stops, and I just felt like I wanted to push it, but you got to keep yourself from doing it, and it really pays off on the long run here. I mean, this track's like sandpaper, so I mean, if you can be patient and be consistent, you can definitely just go up front and pull away, which was mission accomplished.
Yeah, I mean, talk a little bit about the strategy of yours kind of worked out at the end. Be patient, but there at the end, the long green flag runs. I mean, it kind of played into your hands after that first stage. But I mean, during the middle of that, when you kind of got behind traffic, you say be patient, but I saw you make some really not aggressive moves, but quick and precise. The purposeful passes to make sure you got that track position. He didn't get mired back in traffic. A lot of guys were really struggling with the handling of the truck back behind cars. But, it seemed like you were selectively aggressive. You were, I want to save my tire, but it seemed like you're one of the few that able to make passes when you want to. It just seemed like your speed was just so much better. And you were raced around a lot of trucks here tonight. So I'm kind of, for the people who might need help next season at Darlington, what did you see that was different? You say patience, but we saw you be able to make some passes. What was the difference you see versus what other people were doing and what you were doing?
Being being consistent with wrapping the bottom in 3 and 4. So if you go back and look at that, I think I only made maybe 2 passes in 1 and 2. 1 and 2, like it's a corner you attack. You can get a lot of gas in it. I mean, that's the big thing too, is you can get a lot of gas in it, but you don't want to get too much gas into it. I'm not full throttle throughout that corner almost at all. But that's not the corner where you can be aggressive and pass. I mean, the car gets very light because you are carrying that much speed. It's really wrapping down to that white line in 3 and 4, and that saves tire at the same time. So you get out of the gas early, you pump the brake 2-3 times, and you let the car rotate to the bottom, and you slowly get back into the throttle. But at the same time with 3 and 4, that's actually the corner where you can kind of dive it in and get on the brakes a little bit harder. So it was selectively choosing to do that because running the bottom, no matter what, will save tire. But the diving it in and trying to get the car to stay on the bottom, obviously that's going to wear the tire a little bit more. And it's just it's knowing when you can and cannot do that and how much you can do that. Because if you do it too much, you're going to pay for it in the long run.
Well, hey, you knocked it out of the park tonight. I mean, just a dominant performance. 8 seconds over second place Christian McCullough. And the best part about it, you move on to the next round, and you don't have to worry about Martinsville, which can always be a cluster, you know what. So you're going to race for a championship, Sean. Congratulations. And as always, man, who you got to thank?
I just got to thank JC Motorsports, Lucas Lyons for doing my paint schemes. Thank Camerata Truck Parts, JC Graphics, Everyone on the team, man. Once again, I mean, we go into practices and we talk, and my teammates were asking me for pointers this time around, and it felt good to be that guy and give them the help and see the results because I believe both Daniel and Barrett finished in the top 5. Lucas was right up there. Kind of fell back a little bit right at the very end, but that was the best I've ever seen him save tire. Usually is, in my opinion, a little too aggressive, but definitely a good team working together. So thank the team, thank Bluegrass, thank Jason for putting this on, and you, Eddie, for doing the broadcast. But yeah, the win was definitely mission accomplished. I'm going to Martinsville next weekend to the real race. So I don't know if I'll even be back here on Monday in time to race it. So locked in, that's what matters.
There you go. There you have it. Sean Kaiser with the win here tonight at Darlington, the dominant performance. And, boy, you got to be on notice if you're thinking about winning this championship after what you saw tonight. So Sean just comes in prepared, ready to go. And all of JC Motorsports just seem to be on top of it. Christian McCullough there in second. Also, great run by him. Chad Ross in fourth. I mean, a lot of drivers were up front racing their guts out. And, yeah, just a wild race. A lot of fun. Darlington always delivers. So, but all right. Well, that is all we got here tonight. Congratulations again to the winner, Sean Kaiser. And, man, yeah, 81 laps he led here tonight. Just a dominant performance. But I want to thank everybody for watching. If you're not subscribed, definitely go subscribe to Bluegrass, but also head over to V-Speed Racing Network if you like what you see. I sure would like to do it for more people and more often. So definitely give us a subscription. Tell us, or maybe, hey, let somebody know about VSRN. Say, hey, man, if you want to broadcast for your league, look these guys up. Be glad to do it. But anyway, y'all have a great night. We'll see y'all next week. I'll be broadcasting the Fastenal series tomorrow, and then Bradley will be doing the Cup series on Wednesday. So that'll be a lot of fun. Come out and check that out on V-Speed. All right, y'all. Y'all have a good night. We'll see you later.